It's true that whatever the left was has gone completely insane. And this segment I'm going to do is going to be a little bit more personal, and I'm going to make some people angry, but it's got to happen. What you're seeing on your screen, or for those that are listening, let me tell you. This is a woman named Jenny Jardine. I know her, not like good friends or anything, but we had, I remember it was almost a decade ago, we had lunch together, and we had a great conversation. I could be misremembering a lot about what we talked about because it's been a long time. Like I said, it's like nearly a decade. But she told me that she knew Andrew Breitbart and that Breitbart used to be a liberal. And something happened where he kind of flipped and she didn't understand why. It was so strange. And I always remember she told me the story. After Occupy Wall Street, I think I may have met her after Occupy, I'm not sure, but she interviewed me during Occupy Wall Street for Boing Boing. BoingBoing.net is one of the first blogs ever. I don't know Jenny well enough to talk about her personal ideologies, but I can tell you right now, it appears that she's gone completely insane. And I'm reticent to actually say something like that because we have a lot of mutual friends. Jenny is a well-known, high-profile personality in tech writing and in the hacker community to a certain degree. I used to hang out at a hackerspace in which I believe she was one of the co-founders. If you're not familiar with what a hackerspace is, it's like a mutual space. Everyone, pitches in a certain amount of money, and then you have a place where you can work and hang out. And so I'd hang out there. And there were a few other people I'm not going to name that are high-profile hacker activists. When I saw these tweets from her, I honestly thought she was hacked. I really did. But as it turns out now, the left has gone insane. Now, let me stop right there. There are a lot of leftists who have always thought crazy things. I get it. And a lot of people who think that the Democrats and the liberals were never the left. I don't care about the argument about your Marxist literature. I'm talking about in the United States, the Democrats were left, Republicans were right. They've slowly moved to the left. I get it. I'm going to read you these tweets. And I'm actually extremely shocked by them. Jenny Jardine tweeted, "Been a while since I flexed on here, but I just want to say, F. Glenn Greenwald, I hope he dies in a prison, and I know things you don't know about what the H he really did to America. Like 5 minutes, to be honest, he's a liar, but that's his trade, so I don't blame him. He's a paid predator, and I don't forget it. Questions I asked that man in front of others that he and they never answer have been answered. I know what you did, baby. The world will eventually." Now, when I read that, I'm thinking, and this is from the other day, I'm like, oh, wow, maybe Glenn Greenwald really did something. I've never been his biggest fan. I've been very critical of him, but I tend to think he's better than, nothing. He's better than a lot of the people on the left because he calls out the woke insanity. And so, he calls out CNN and the corporate Dems and stuff. And I can respect that. He called out Russiagate insanity. Much respect. But then I started seeing some of the other tweets he started posting. And it turns out she's Rachel Maddow level insane. And I'm going to say this right now. This is the danger of Rachel Maddow, okay? Rachel Maddow for years screamed about the Russians and people listened. You want to complain about Alex Jones making people believe insane things? Fine, whatever. They're still doing it. Congratulations, you got Jones banned. But Rachel Maddow is still on the air driving people I know insane. I am not being hyperbolic when I say she's insane. And I'm going to show you what she tweets. First, this is what I said. What the ever-living F happened to the left? The people who once challenged authoritarianism now embrace it. The people who opposed corporate control and censorship now embrace it. Because this is what she tweeted. She tweeted, it's loading. Okay. "If Glenn Greenwald dies in prison, justice will have been served." And this is a ridiculous ratio. 1.2 thousand comments, 62 retweets. "The liberals embracing fascistic ideology and authoritarianism to own the Russians?" It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. Look, man, I may not be a big fan of Glenn Greenwald. I might not be a big fan of Rachel Maddow, but to advocate for their death in prison is insane. What did Glenn Greenwald do? He's a journalist. He's published information you don't like. He's got bad opinions. Yeah, well, you know what? She says this while Glenn Greenwald is actually having charges levied against him by the Brazilian far-right government. Imagine that. Embracing a far-right government. I'm using far-right because it's their language, by the way. I don't know enough about Bolsonaro, so I know people are going to attack me for that. The point I'm saying is, from their perspective, she is siding with apparently what they're supposed to oppose. This may be the same. She said this. Let me show you some of the other tweets she said. She tweeted, Julian Assange is an enemy of America. Yeah, technically I can understand that point of view, but Julian Assange only ever published factual information. You cannot like the fact that he's targeted, that he's released information damaging to America, but hey, welcome to freedom. America should get with the program. Edward Snowden is an enemy of America. Seriously? Look, I'm not a big Snowden fan either. I think when, she points something out I actually kind of agree with. Snowden's not a whistleblower. He's a leaker. He didn't read every single thing he published, and I think it's fair to criticize him. But to call him an enemy of America, no, I think he was ignorant and what he did was potentially dangerous. But I don't think Edward Snowden is evil. I think he saw programs. He took it one step too far. My general understanding could be wrong, but he uncovered the NSA spying, violations of our constitutional rights, horrifying things. But he went heavy-handed with it, and he leaked a bunch of information he didn't actually read. Okay? Fine. I guess technically I understand why you call him an enemy of America, but what's happened? This isn't how the left used to behave. The left used to challenge authority. Now it's just Glenn Greenwald is an enemy of America. Wait till I show you some of this other stuff. She tweeted, I'm sorry that so many of my longtime friends are going to go through so much pain as the involvement and impact of Russian foreign active measures in our politics, technology, media, even our dialogue on social are finally revealed. Ego death hurts. I, too, was once in a cult. What? I do not judge you. I love you. I speak provocatively sometimes for maximum impact. My hope is to light a fire. Evidently, I did. The blind spot grows. The deeper in you get. When my blind spots were torn away, it was like losing a layer of skin. Nobody wants that. I don't judge you. I love you. But I won't be flinching out here. Quote, she's crazy. Bless your sweet baby heart. Gaslighting doesn't work when you already have professional help. And there you go. Once I was indeed crazy. Now I'm well adjusted, well cared for, and pretty immune to abuse. Good morning, FSB botnets and sad suckers who don't know you're in them. Wow. Seriously. I blame Rachel Maddow for this. I'm not exaggerating. Look, man, I know people who believe in flat earth insanity. And I really do think there are some people to blame for why they believe this absolutely ridiculous nonsense. Completely ridiculous nonsense. But to a certain extent, if you choose to go on social media and watch things, it's very different from a major cable network broadcasting this stuff every day and night for years and driving people like this insane. Literally insane. She has professional help because something is wrong. And I'm saying this from a point of empathy. Like, I'm worried when I look at her tweets. Look at this. She tweeted, I'm worried about how many dots there are connecting Bernie to Russia. What? And I'm worried that you aren't as worried as I am. And I'm worried that we're going to get fooled all over again. Did you know that an American company, I believe it's American, New Knowledge, was exposed creating fake Russian bots, Twitter accounts with Cyrillic alphabet in them, so that it looked like Russians were supporting Roy Moore in, I think, Alabama? Yeah, that was fake. Did you know that most of the analysis and data from security companies shows that the Russian interference was minimal and had very little impact? Why then would such a prominent, high-profile member or individual on the left, 154,000 followers, we don't even follow each other anymore because she started going off the rails? What's driving her truly nuts? It's people like Maddow. It really, really is. Look, again, criticize Jones all day and night. I'm not here to defend the guy. You got him banned. Congratulations. But Maddow is still there espousing this. She said, and now I'm muting this thread. I don't come here because I care about what people think of what I know. Why do so many links connect Bernie Sanders' campaign to Russian support? And why is he not as freaked out about this as, say, I am? What? If the person who's telling you to vote for Bernie Sanders works for or has worked through Russia Today, maybe think about that. If they're Ed Snowden, maybe flush your brain down the toilet. He ain't America's ally or your pal. Let me tell y'all something. I used to appear on Russia Today frequently. I did a few interviews on Russia Today, and I would tell you Bernie Sanders is not fit to be president. Straight up. I would also tell you I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I like Andrew Yang. Pete Buttigieg isn't super bad, but he's kind of a gray blob as I describe him. I don't know who we really have as Americans, but are you going to tell me now that, say, Andrew Yang is a Russian? Oh, but it's Bernie Sanders. Come on, man. Bernie Sanders has his faults. But seriously, The media smears the lies and the psychosis permeating what the left used to be. It's not everybody on the left. But I used to hang out with hackers and activists, people who would challenge the establishment, challenge the government when it was authoritarian, and then something strange started to happen. You know what was really, really crazy? When I went to, I think it was DEF CON, and somebody who used to work for the government was giving a speech about Russian interference and got the audience to clap and applaud. And it was kind of a shocking moment when the hacker community was praising the intelligence community. And that was, to me, nuts, because they call them spooks. They're like, you know, they used to play games where they try and spot the Fed. Now, all of a sudden, they were cheering for it. Now, listen, I'm not an anarcho far lefty type crazy person. I got no problem with people who work for the intelligence community, who are doing their best to actually protect this country and believe in the Constitution. Of course, law enforcement is not all evil, etc. But it was an amazing flip. The trust in the system sparked within what used to be the anti-establishment left. And Jenny is probably one of the greatest examples of the conspiracy theory insanity. It's not a rabbit hole, though. They try to tell you that YouTube will make people go far right. But what really happens, and maybe, although I think it's less pronounced than they would like to claim. What about when your high-profile TV personalities every day scream Orange Man bad, only ever put out the most alarming and the worst information possible, and then try and convince you every single day Russia's there to get you? You lose your mind. You lose your friends. And you have to say this to them. Let me get to that apology she said. I'm so sorry to many of my longtime friends that are I'm so sorry that so many of my longtime friends are going through so much as the involvement and impact of Russian foreign active measures in our politics are finally revealed. Apologizing to the people who have pushed her away because she's gone insane. Claiming she's not crazy, but she knows the truth. Thinking the people responding to her are Russians. Ah, man, it's kind of sad. And, for me, it's like this was somebody that I knew to be of prominence in the tech community, in the hacker community, in the online community. And now they're crazy. So I go back to that story when she told me that Breitbart used to be a liberal. You guys know Andrew Breitbart. And he became conservative. And she says, I don't know what happened to him, how he flipped. I'm sitting here feeling the exact same way. My politics as it pertains to freedom and liberty are the same. I hung out with people in the hacker community who believed in free speech, free expression. Many of them still do. My position never changed. But this, she fully admits her eyes have been opened to see the reality of Russia. What happened to these people? It's just nuts. No idea. I think it's Rachel Maddow, though, to be honest. I mean, I know it's a bit hyperbolic to blame her for all of it, but she plays such a massive role, and she's rich because of it. Say, Lovey, I'll see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out.